Hello, JP's mustache. How are you?
JP's mustache is great. How you doing, Stu?
Good man. Like I said, I'm getting over some nastiness. So if I cough and sound all yucky, I apologize.
Yeah, you're fine, man. Yeah,
Um,
it's been going around for sure.
Dude, it's bad. Well, dude, welcome to Member Spotlight for Military Investor Network. I appreciate you jumping on here. I appreciate everything that your wisdom that you've offered, the advice you've given, and just yeah, man, just you are a wealth of knowledge in your field for this community. So, want to kind of just highlight who you are and what you do. So let's just kind of start from the beginning. Who is JP Sicotte?
Yeah. So I'm just a small town boy from Northern California. Yeah, I went to high school in the gay area and then went to your United States Air Force Academy
Oh, okay.
and kind of fell in love with Colorado. Uh, Spent a little over 8 years active duty, flew RC-135s. I was stationed off it the whole time. But even before my ADSC was up, I palace faced the guard and j first started out in the Nebraska Guard for a couple years, and I'd commute, but I beat feet back to Colorado. I wanted to live in Colorado again, and would commuting all the way to Lincoln, Nebraska for guard, and then switched to the 130 guard unit in Cheyenne, Wyoming, which is a
Okay.
lot closer,
Yeah.
much better commute.
How long were you
So
doing that? You're traveling from Denver to Lincoln, Nebraska
I
for
only did that for less than 2 years. It
okay.
it crushed me after a
Yeah.
while.
Were you driving every time?
Sometimes I'd throw some orders on there so they'd pay for my airfare.
Yeah.
Back in those days, buddy passes actually could get you somewhere. So sometimes my airline buddies would throw me a buddy pass or something. But then when I
Nice
got there, I wouldn't have a car. Like it was almost better
to
to
drive.
drive, you know.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Did you end up doing 20 years?
Yeah, I did
Okay.
22,
Okay.
26 if you count the academy, right? But yeah, I retired back in 2019 from the guard.
Nice. And so what was where when you while you're doing your guard time, were you doing other things? Is that when you started kind of the mortgage side of the business
Yeah,
or?
yeah, yeah. So at first, yeah, when I first moved out to Colorado, my family owns a winery and vineyard in Western Colorado, and I was doing marketing and sales for them.
Okay.
Um, and I doubled sales 2 years in a row, so quadrupled it totally. But then we got to the point where, as a one, I couldn't grow it anymore, and then we switched to distributor, and so they take over, distributors take over sales at that point, and then. Like I'd still work for them and do events and stuff, but it wasn't a full-time job.
Okay.
Once I'm not no longer calling on the accounts, the restaurants and the liquor stores and stuff. So
Yeah.
um, then I ended up taking a year of orders down at Northcom to be a National Guard liaison. And but my wife left on a 1 year remote to Yemen at the same time, and I was stuck with a 1 year old and a 8 year old and just
It's
getting my
tough.
butt kicked and commuting down to Northcom and like literally dropped my daughter off at 7 a.m. when they opened and picking her up at 6 when they closed. I mean, it was brutal because I live here in
Dang.
Littleton.
Yeah.
Um, and then I bumped into my mortgage broker at the grocery store, and he and I had stayed friends. We'd done some charity work together and stuff, and super nice guy. And I was just complaining about my life, and he's like, "Hey, dude, why don't you come sling mortgages?" Um, he's like,
Sling
"It's
mortgages.
yeah." He's like, "You got an MBA. It's not hard." He's like, "You'd be great at it." I'm like, "Okay." And his office was 5 minutes from my house, so my life totally I went from, an hour to an hour and a half commute each way to 5 minutes, and his office was literally 400 yards from my daughter's daycare. I mean, it was
Nice.
revolution that just absolutely changed my work and home life. And that was 2013 when rates first got into the like high threes,
Yeah.
and there was a giant refi. So all I did was call friends and family like, "Hey, send me a mortgage statement. I'll run some numbers and oh, I'm saving you 400 bucks a month. I'll save you 500. And everybody's like, okay. I mean, it was picking money off the ground at the time. And then rates went back up into the fives and that kind of turned off. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I actually got to work on this purchase business thing and flirt with realtors. So that's
Nice.
how then I started, doing that thing and looking for referral business and networking a little more. Um, and then fast forward to today, and then along the way, I've been doing real estate investing, right? So, um, got about six rental properties of different sorts, throughout. They're all in Colorado.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Uh, And then, yeah, and then I kind of just started specializing mortgage wise in VA loans, helping veterans. Kind of that's a no-brainer being in the veteran community. And, and I do always tell people, even if you don't use me, use somebody who's used to VA loans, not Veterans United, because that's just a call center.
Mm.
But Navy Fed or whoever, not USA. USA is terrible because they're kind of a call center as well. Um, because most loan officers do one or two a year and they screw it up. It's a completely different appraisal process, different underwriting process, different everything. So um,
So
always,
let's talk about that a little bit because I mean this is a little bit off of script of the questions, but um, touch on that a little bit more because I mean I've heard horror stories with USAA and even Navy Federal and specifically with being a veteran yourself and knowing the process, like how big of a difference can that make by using someone specifically that has a vast knowledge of using a VA loan? And what can the VA loan like what's the power of the VA loan?
yeah, it's the greatest loan product by far.
Yeah.
Well, there's a few questions there. I'll start with the first one, which is what's the nightmares with USAA and Navy Fed. USAA's big problem is they try to do mortgage like they do insurance, and
Mm.
I have USAA for insurance. I love them for insurance.
Yeah,
They don't
same.
ask questions. They write a check. Do I pay a little more in premiums? Probably.
Mm.
Um, but I love the no hassle. They've bought me two roofs and not said a word, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So like they've got me for like, and yeah, countless. Their customer service is great. But you don't have an agent, right? I can't call Bob Leibowitz or whatever, my agent at USAA. It's all they put notes in your file, and whatever customer service rep picks up just looks at the notes and deals with whatever issue you have. They try to do the same thing with mortgage, which doesn't work. You need
Mm.
one point of contact, one quarterback that's pushing this transaction through. There's just too many details and too many hoops to follow through. It doesn't work. Loan officer by committee is a failed process. And multiple companies have tried it, and it's just hot garbage. Um, Navy Fed still gives you a loan officer, so they're a little better, but but they're still the bank mentality. They don't answer the phone on evenings and weekends, and that's when real estate's sold. That's when you need a pre-approval letter.
Yeah.
So that's the big downfall there. But otherwise, they do a pretty good job and they've got good rates. So,
Okay. Makes sense.
uh, what was the next? There was another part. Oh, the
Well,
difference
just
between the VA. Yeah.
yeah.
So the VA loan, the big difference between that and conventional is a conventional loan. What qualifies you with by a debt to income ratio. That's the way they qualify you. VA does it totally different. They do use a system called residual income. So the way the debt to income ratio works on a conventional and FHA loan is they add up all your debts, credit card debt, car loans, student loans, your mortgage, everything. And as long as that's below a certain threshold, which for conventional it's 50%, for FHA it's 55, as long as it's below that, you qualify. VA loan takes all your expenses to include taxes and stuff. So the conventional and FHA just assumes the other half or so of your income goes to taxes and living expenses, right? Or like,
Okay.
food,
Yeah.
gas, whatever. The VA does it totally different. They add up all your expenses to include taxes that they take out of your and everything, and they make sure your debt, your payment, everything, and they make sure that you have enough residual income to cover, daily expenses like gas and clothes and food and all that stuff. So they're it's a residual income requirement, not a debt to income ratio. And where that comes into play is really people that make a lot of money, they can
Yeah,
get a pretty high debt to income ratio because if you make $500,000 a year, it's pretty easy to have 600 extra dollars a month in residual
right.
income to cover your expenses, right? And it's a really small percentage of your income. So you're if a normal loan officer looks at it, it's like, wow, your debt to income ratio is really high. It's kind of irrelevant, dude, because there's plenty of residual income. And then,
So, so you
oh,
would
go
say
ahead.
is it easier to qualify for a VA loan than a conventional FHA loan?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
almost every time. And then the only time it kind of comes into play is if you're a family of 12 and on the lower income side of things, because each additional family member adds to the minimum residual income requirement. But that's an outlier, right?
Yeah, makes sense. Well, I don't want to
Um,
get too deep into VA loans. We'll save that for
all
another
right,
time. But
sorry.
no, it's all good. No, I asked the questions. Um, I want to transition back to your transition. So, you were in the Guard, so you were in there for a long time. How is that transition out of the military and then full time into, the mortgage world? And what
That's
lessons did you
the
learn in that?
Yeah, that's the deal. Is there isn't that sudden transition like people that go from active duty to civilian, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I still have my foot in the military door, and it's also as a flyer, you get additional flight training periods. It's not just the 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. Um, so you can actually make a decent amount of money. It's a pretty good second income. Some people they're called guard bums that just like
yeah.
pick up trips or yeah, have you heard of the term?
Yep, yep.
Yeah. Pick up trips, do AFTPs, grab orders for special projects, whatever, and they can make a living just being a traditional guardsman. They're not even a full-time guardsman, but you can make the equivalent to a full-time military income if you just hang around the guard enough, right? So that helped me a ton when I started out in mortgage because I didn't have to make um, enough. I didn't have to make all my money from mortgage from day one, right? Because it's
Yeah,
100% commission, right? There's no,
right.
um, you don't have a base salary. So the guard was kind of like my base salary and my commissions from mortgage was kind of my commissions. And then as my business grew, kind of participated less and less in the guard, and then got to the point where I couldn't. It was too much of a liability
Mm,
to really participate enough to stay proficient in the aircraft. So I did made the choice to free up a little more time for my family and my job.
that makes sense. Just curious, why didn't you go airline route?
Oh, so I was a NAV. So that I mean
Okay,
I did get my pilot's license. I have I don't know 600 hours or so.
gotcha.
Um, but it's not the lifestyle for me really. Living out of a suitcase. Yeah, there are a bunch of uh guard navs that are airline pilots. Like
Yeah,
it's pretty typical.
yeah,
Um, but it's not the lifestyle for me. Living out of a suitcase 3 or 4 days a week and missing um choir concerts, dance recitals, football games just wasn't in the cards for me.
yeah. Oh, same man.
Yeah.
Um, well, you mentioned that you do a lot of investing yourself. You own rental properties. I know you flipped some houses here in Denver market. Just curious, looking at all your investment strategies and investments, what would you say is the best investment that you've ever made?
Man, ironically, it's my second, I've got a second home in Breckenridge.
Okay,
Um, that I also Airbnb out. So pretty much everybody pays for my second home, right? We just block out time for us and the family. Um, but that started out as I bought a cabin in Fairplay in 2011. I paid like
okay.
90 grand for it.
What?
Yeah, well, first I was gonna build, right? So at first I was gonna buy a lot and just build, and then and it's right on the middle fork of the South Platte. There's 4.5 miles of access to gold medal water, whatever. I'm kind of digressing, but it's where I wanted to be, right? Where I
Yeah,
wanted my second home. Love fly fishing. Uh, and as I'm driving, I looked at the lot I wanted. And as I'm driving out, I see this for sale sign. And I don't mean a realtor for sale sign. I mean like an orange, like you're selling your car for sale
yeah, yeah,
sign
yeah,
nailed to a tree. And then it said for sale, 90K. And I'm like, I just hit the brakes. I'm like, because I'd already been doing the math and how much to put in septic and build a foundation and all this. And I'm like, 90 grand, dude, I couldn't get out of the earth for 90 grand, right?
Yeah, right.
So I turn in, go in there, have a beer with this guy from Alabama. It's his second home. He's selling it and just bought it, right? And it was in good shape. He was a contractor and he did a bunch of puttering around, fixed a bunch of stuff. It was in awesome shape. Um, so I buy that, sell it, but it was just for summer because it was a little too far from Breckenridge to be a ski place too. I'm like, I kind of want a summer and ski place.
Yeah.
So I sold that 3 years later for like 250.
Wow. That's even a
Yeah,
steal now.
right, exactly. Oh, well, yeah, I could have held on longer, but then so I flipped that, used that money to buy a condo in Breckenridge. And that place was great because it was the summer ski place or winter ski place, but it kind of sucked in the summer because it was a condo, not a lot of outdoor space, and couldn't ride the ATVs around or shoot BB guns or do
Yeah.
bonfires. So I wanted it all. So I sold that a couple years later. I think I paid 650 for that. I sold it a couple years later for like 750, and then I bought a cabin on Peak 7 for 1.1. Um, and it's worth like 1.6 today. Like it just,
That's awesome.
yeah,
And you Airbnb it most of the year?
yeah,
I don't
I
know why I
do.
didn't know that, but now I'm going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
also, if you got anytime you want to put a guy's trip, ski trip on the books, just give me a date. I'll block it out and we'll go.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
especially easy
Absolutely.
during the week. The weekends kind of book up quick in the winter, but midweek is super easy.
Yeah. I don't know
Yeah,
why I didn't know that, but yeah, I'm now
yeah,
excited about that.
yeah.
This interview was all worth it for me. Uh, so man, that's awesome. I'm super jealous right now. Worst investment. What would you say is your worst investment that you've ever made?
Oh, probably my first flip. Um, I kind of didn't understand all the pitfalls. I did a lot of learning, to
There you
put it
go.
that way.
There you go.
Uh,
That here in Denver?
yeah, yeah. And I tried to do baby steps. I started out with a condo in Lakewood, and I thought I was going to make all this money, but carrying costs killed me. It sat on the market for a lot longer than I thought. I got beat up on the price, and and I actually didn't lose money. I just made nothing, but it was a lot of work
Hmm.
to make
Were you
nothing.
were you
To
actually doing the work? Like were you like hammering
No,
nails
no,
and
no,
stuff?
no, no, no. I
No,
meant the work as in,
just all the
uh,
coordination and
yeah, yeah. And I did some stuff like I think I went and picked up an appliance or whatever, like one time when they wouldn't deliver it or they were going to take 2 weeks to deliver it. I'm like, I have a pickup truck. We're moving this along, you
yeah.
know. That's about it. No, I hired all the work done.
Yeah, that's I mean to put a lot of work into it and just break even, like that's a blessing because you didn't lose money, but also just, a huge opportunity to take that and, learn those lessons and get better for it. Because I know you've flipped more houses since, right?
Yeah.
What would you say the market is like now for flipping?
Ooh. Um, Man, it's a double-edged sword. You can definitely pick up some deals, especially right now. This time of year in this market is awesome. There's a lot uh, on the market that's been on the market for a while, and prices are softening. So anybody that has anything listed now is probably pretty desperate, and you can
Yeah,
pick it up for a fraction of what it'll be worth here in the spring. So that's nice. However, it is slow right now. If you've acquired something back in the summer and got it fixed up and are trying to sell it now, it's sitting on the market and you're not getting what you want for it, right? So,
yeah. So
um,
time is important in this factor.
100%. Yep. So if you're trying to get out of a flip, you're probably hurting, but now's a great time to pick a project up.
I actually posted this on Military Investor Network in the forums. I chat GPT'd when the best time to buy a house was, and it absolutely said like winter, like December, January are like the best times to buy houses for that exact same reason. Stuff's been sitting on the market for a long time. People are desperate. They want to get it sold, and they're willing to go below their list price. So something to look at
Yeah,
for sure.
I've picked up all mine. I've known that for a while. I picked up all my investment properties in December.
Okay, it's good to know. A little tip.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. A couple more questions for you. What advice would you give your 20-year-old self if you had to go back?
Eee.
It's a tough one.
Uh, a couple pieces of advice. Um, get into business earlier. Like get out of
Mm.
that. I wish I had not worked for my folks and started my own um, business, whether it ended up being mortgage or whatever. I just wish I'd gotten a little bit of an earlier start.
Why?
Oh, just because wealth compounds, right?
Yeah,
So like you don't notice it, but at this age, I'd be wealthier if I'd started younger. That's it.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. And same with real estate investing, right?
Yeah, for sure, man.
Oh, that
Um,
and don't tell my 20-year-old self not never sell a property.
ooh, dude, there's a few properties I'm regretting selling myself.
Mhm. Same.
Yeah. Um, what would you ask from members of the Military Investment Network? What, like, if you, this is your opportunity to say anything, ask anything, promote what you're doing, what would you say to them?
Yeah, man, just hit me up if you need a VA loan, or I'm also really good at investment property financing too. I'm a big fan of DSCR loans, bank statement loans, because a lot of self-employed people have a really hard time qualifying. I've gotten a DSCR loan myself for investment properties before. It's a pretty good, and then fix and flip products as well. So I know the ins and outs of those, having literally used them myself as well as originated a bunch for clients. So if you guys are having issues getting traditional financing because of whatever self-employed status, I'm definitely a resource. And then obviously VA loans.
Love it, man. Awesome. Well, dude, like I said, I appreciate you, appreciate your knowledge. And the last time we were hanging out, I crashed my mountain bike and broke my collarbone and my ribs. So I don't know if I like need to be hanging out with you much anymore, but we'll get back on it next season, I promise.
And let's go snowboarding. So we can
Fair.
go on off a cliff and I can do the same thing.
Yeah,
Just
let's not
kidding.
do that. Brother, appreciate you. And guys and gals, reach out to JP. He's a wealth of knowledge in the real estate world, investing world, mortgage world. He's a part of the Military Investment Network, and I'm glad to call him a friend. Thanks, buddy.
Awesome. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
All right, bud. See ya.
Take care.